Hi everyone, welcome back in the third and the final part of building a project manager landing page or SaaS landing page. So for those of you who are new to this video, so I highly recommend to watch the first and the second part of this series. And first I want to show you just to give you an idea of the final results and what we are building. So as you can see, this is the landing page that is deployed in Vercel servers. And so I'm going to start from the top. So we have this floating nav bar, as you can see, this hero section. And also we have the features and the how it works, the blogs, the pricing, the questions and answers sections or section, the testimonial section, and finally the footer section with the newsletter section. And the best part is we're going to be using this website called Bolstack. So this is the why I'm creating all of these series, just to show you this tool and to use it. So all of the components that I'm providing here for free, and also I'm providing some templates. Among them is this project master, and also I have other templates as well. You, you can purchase if you want to, just to support me and support the work that I'm doing in my channel, because building all of these takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. But this isn't the objective of this video. And so also I'm providing a tool called Next.js boilerplate generator, where you can create a Next.js project. All of the elements built in, like the authentication and also next auth and also fonts and like all the boring stuff we want to build a new project. So you can click on the start building and you can explore this. But this is not the goal of this video. So now we're gonna continue building our landing page, and I want to show you where we stopped. So we stopped in the pricing section. So if we go back to the final product or landing page. So we have the pricing section, and also we have the questions section. So I'm gonna add this section. So one thing great about this, all the blocks or components that I'm using, so they're just copy and paste. So the only thing that you need to do is first you need to know how it works, because if we go, for example, to the testimonials page, so each component you can go to the docs section, and I'm providing some examples on how you can be able to use this component, and also I'm providing the code if you want to go through the code if you want to. The reason why I'm doing this, just to first you want to know how it works, and also for me, because I have many components in this website, so it is very hard to remember each component what it does. So this is why I'm creating this, and to enhance the user experience as well for this website. So let's go back to our project and continue building the landing page. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add the questions section underneath the pricing section. So the first thing in the blocks page, so we're going to go to this section, and here for this, at this time, I'm providing three components. So these are the components that I created so far, and this is the component that I'm using. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna click on the download component, and inside the components folder and the app folder, so saving all the reusable components that I took or I downloaded from poststack.dev. So we have the name. So I already programmed this to get the name in the final file name input field of the file, and the it's going to be saved as Typescript file. So I'm going to hit save. And as you can see, we have a notification telling us that the file has been saved successfully. And what I'm going to do here, so you can check the component. So this is the component, as you can see, has been saved successfully. And this is the component, how it works if we wanna go through the component. And next, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go to inside or within the home page components folder. So I'm gonna follow the same structure that I did for the other sections. So I'm gonna create a new folder and I'm gonna call it this way. And also I'm gonna create a new file .tsx. So I'm gonna create an empty reusable component, and then I'm going to uh, change the name of the functional component, of course, and then I'm going to call the reusable component that I downloaded from bolstack.dev. And then I'm going to call this component in the page.tsx. So, so I'm going to do it this way, section. And so let's go back to our landing page to see if the component has been rendered successfully in the page. And I'm gonna reload the page to see the new component. So as you can see, this is the component. So as you can see, because we are using Shadcn, so the color or the main color, it's going to be taken from the global.css based on the color that we choose when we create our project. So as you can see right off the bat, we have the components. So what you have to do is to use the props that this component is providing. So it is a time saver. So I don't want to create these components from scratch. So I want to have a collection of reusable components, and all you have to do is to know how to use them and put them together, and you are ready to go. And also, as I'm going to show you, like for each section, having a class name. So you don't want to go inside the component and change the component. So you can just change the class name property of each object. So to show you this, so let's go back to the VS Code and the component. So this is the interface of the main component. So as you can see for the feature badge, which is this part, we have the text and the class name. So this class name, it is linked to the badge, and you can just as I'm going to show you when I'm gonna add um, the prompts in this component. So all you have to do is to change the utility classes inside the class name property from the parent component, and you are ready to go. And this is what I'm going to do to be able to get the uh, the same data or the same result as we have in the final landing page. So let's go back to the project, to the code, and what I'm gonna do to save time, I'm gonna paste the whole object uh, that we're gonna that we're gonna use as a prompt in the component. So we have an error because we need to provide this prompt from or this interface, sorry, from the main component. And so I'm gonna import the component. So hopefully that I'm not gonna have any errors. The reason why I can't access to the IntelliSense because I need to export the interface. So that's I think the only modification that I'm going to do for this component. So let's save the file, and then I'm going to use the interface. So that's the beauty of using TypeScript and interfaces. So when I make sure that this structure follows the same structure that we defined in the main component before we use it in the component or the component itself by using the spread operator. And then I'm going to call the project manager data. So I'm going to save the file. So this is what allows us using this interface. So we have in the section ID, the class name, the feature badge, the title, the description, and also the items that we want to show in the section and the contact section. So as you can see, through the prompts and through this object, so it's a pretty heavy object. Because we have a lot of components inside this component. So, so let's save the file and we want to see the new result. So I'm gonna reload the page again. So as you can see, this is how the section looks. It is the same as I created. Because I've already done the hard work to see how to use uh, the utility classes and also to update the data. So I don't want to waste time like typing and doing all of this. So I want to just show you how this works and how to put everything together. So we added this section. So the two final sections that I'm going to add by following the same process is the testimonial section and also the newsletter section and the the footer section. So let's add the next section, which is the testimonial section. So as we did for the other section, so we're gonna go back to bolstack.dev and in the landing page section. So we're gonna go to the testimonials uh, sub section. And so we're gonna be using the second component, which is this one. So I'm gonna download the component again, and I'm gonna save it in the components folder. So the file has been saved successfully. So now let's go back to our uh, project and I'm gonna create a new folder. So I'm gonna call it testimonials, testimonials section. And inside of it, as I did for the other components or sections, so I'm gonna create a new file, testimonials section.jsx, and I'm gonna generate a boilerplate component, and I'm gonna change or update the name testimonials section. And I'm gonna call the component that I just downloaded from um, postdoc.dev. So I think that, so let me go back uh, to the component just to see the name of the component to make sure that I'm using the same or the correct name of the component. So it is called the testimonial section 2. Testimonial section 2. So let's do this again. Testimonial section 2 component. So this is the component that I was looking for in the IntelliSense. So once we have this ready to be used, then I'm gonna go back to the page.jsx, and underneath this section, I'm gonna call testimonial testimonial section. So for this time, I'm gonna call it from this. So this is the path that the component from this path that I'm gonna be using. So I'm gonna save the file, and I wanna check if everything is working well. So if I reload the page, we should see the new component or the new section has been added underneath this section. So eventually it's going to look the same as this one. So the only thing that's going to be changing are the colors. So this is the components, as you can see, has been added successfully in the landing page, and also we have some some images, because if we go back to the component itself, so let me close all of these tabs. Uh, if we go back to the component, so here inside the array that we are using to show all of the testimonials, so we're using the random user.me API to be able to access to the images. So it's a popular API that is widely used in the web development world. So this is what we are using to be able to show for the sake of like showing how the component works to show all of these images. So now, once we have the component ready to be used, so I'm going to add inside the testimonial section.tsx. So I'm going to add the object that we're going to be using for this component. So again, I'm going to paste the whole object like this. So also, as you can see, the object is a little bit long, and we are going to use this object in the component here. So it is called project manager testimonial data. So we're going to use the spread operator to be able to actually access to all of this object, all the properties inside this object, rather than using each property in the component, and it's going to make the code look a bit concise when using the component. So this is the structure, the testimonial badge, the title, the description, and also the testimonials array. So we have three arrays, and also this class name, it's going to be linked to the main tag of the component. So if we go to the component, so we have the section ID, and this class name, it's going to be linked to the class name that we are using in the functional component. So this one, or this class name, it's going to be linked to the section tag of the component. So here I'm adding some paddings at the top and at the left, at the top and at the bottom, sorry, to be able to create some space and gap between the sections at the top and at the bottom. So if I save the file, so we should see the new data, as you can see. So now we have a little bit of gap at the top, and also we have some new icons and new text and new data. Just for the sake of showing you how to be able to use this component and how time saving could be, like using reusable components like this, and this is what I'm doing. So the two last components for us to be able to finish this landing page is this newsletter component, and also the footer component. So let's keep going. And the next section that I'm going to be adding is this one. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to ballstack.dev and I'm going to go to the blocks page and we're going to access to the newsletter. So I'm going to click on it. So as you can see, we have two components. And of course, eventually we're going to be using this component. So I'm going to download the component as I did for the other components, and I'm going to save it inside the components folder. So as you can see, the data, it is the same, or the theme that I'm using that I'm using to preview the component. It is the same that we are using in the project manager landing page. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just add this landing page or create the component, and I'm going to just use this component as it is. I'm not going to add any data like I did for the other component. So again, I'm going to create a new folder here called newsletter section, and I'm going to create a new file called newsletter.jsx. So let's add the section word, and I'm going to create a boilerplate or generate a boilerplate functional component, newsletter section functional component, and I'm going to call the component that I just downloaded. So first, let me see the name of the component to call the right component. So let's call the newsletter 2. So newsletter 2 component. And finally, I'm going to call this newsletter section component inside the page.jsx newsletter section component. And if we go back to our to local 3000, so we should see the section underneath the testimonial section. Again, so I'm not going to add any object. So the only thing that is going to be changing is the color. So it's going to use the main colors or the primary color that we're using in Shadcn. And I'm going to leave it as it is because the data matches the theme that we're using in the landing page. So as you can see, we have the component has been added successfully. So this it's a client component because we need to make it client to be able to handle the input or the update of the input. So as I showed you, I'm not going to get into how each section works, but I'm gonna the reason why I did this to be able to show you a tool that's going to help you to create a landing page a lot faster. So once we are done with this, so the final section is the footer section, and this is what we are going to be adding. So let's add the last section, which is the footer section. So again, as I did for the other sections or component, so I'm going to go to the footer. So I'm going to click on footers, and I'm going to use the final footer or the footer 3, and I'm going to download the reusable components inside the components folder and click save. So the file has been saved successfully. So so the footer section folder, so it is already there, so I'm not going to create a new one. So the only thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from uh, all the things that are unnecessary, and I'm gonna call the footer 3 component. So also I'm gonna get rid from all of the unused uh, components and elements at the top. So I'm gonna save the file. So let's go back to the local 3000. So I'm gonna reload the page to see the news section underneath the newsletter section. So this is already called in the page.tsx. So if I go here, so this is the footer section. So this is why I didn't save some of the elements when I created the project. So because we already have because I'm providing a very simple landing page and it follows the same structure. So some of the folders, I didn't save them just to be able to reuse them. So as you can see, this is the section, the footer has been added successfully. So the only thing that I'm going to do, as I did for the other components, I'm going to change the data. So let's go back to the code. And as we did for the previous sections, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna paste the object, and also I need to add uh, all of the um, all of the elements that have the red line. So the first one that I'm going to start with, I need to import the footer 3 prompt. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to I need to go to the footer 3 and I need to import. So probably I need to do some modifications in some of the components, like I forgot to add the export keyword to be able to import some of the interfaces inside the component like this one. It's going to help you to create the data structure that matches the structure that I created for the component. So also I'm going to import the app logo functional component, and this one, if you remember, if you watched the previous parts, so this one I'm using in the nav bar. So I created this component in the components folder. So this is the component that I just imported to be able to reuse it in both places, the nav bar and the footer. And also I need to import these functions. So these functions, as I'm going to show you, it's going to help us to create the anchor slug. So when I click on one of these, it's going to take us to the section that we want. So, and this is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to create a new folder inside the app folder. So I'm going to call it utils.js, and I'm going to paste the function. So this is the function to be able to add the hashtag at the beginning, and so let me add the curly brace, and then we are going to import the function create anchor slug, and then I'm going to import all of these icons. You know what? I'm gonna go at the top and I'm gonna paste these. So these are the icons that we're using to import, that we are using in the social links. So the only component that I need to add, so I'm gonna start from here and I'm gonna paste it in here. So now all the errors are gone. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this structure in our prompt like this. So we should see all the update in our footer section. So I'm going to reload the page to re-render and see the new changes. So as you can see, those are the changes. So if I hover over these links, as you can see, we're going to have the names of the section. So as you can see, we've been able to create this landing page. So it's a pretty long landing page and it has a lot of sections. So think about like building all of these elements from scratch. So it's really time consuming. And this is why I'm building this fullstack.dev to be able to save time and to create landing pages, but also to create projects a lot faster because I'm not providing just like reusable components for landing pages. Also, I'm providing for dashboards to create and to put a lot of components together to create also dashboards as well. So we came to the final part of this series. So hopefully that you got some value from this project. And also I'm going to be releasing soon the full course or full video of the project. Uh, and that's it. So thank you again for watching this video and hopefully that you got some positive value from this series.